Here's the Schmidt trigger circuit again. And just to recap, I'm using a 74C14 hex Schmidt trigger. And previously, we were only using one inverter of the chip. So one inverter only uses 2 pins on the chip. So I've added another oscillator. So that's another 2 pins on the chip. So right now we're only using 4 pins. And 4 pin, I think 2 oscillators is good enough. You could add more, but the sound would get kind of chaotic, and you'd have to add a lot more components. But right now it's just 2 oscillators, and on the output of each oscillator I've added a diode. It's a what is it? It's a generic 1N914. So I've added 2 of those to the output of the 2 oscillators. I've added a big capacitor to the oscillator with the photocell. So one oscillator has a photocell and the other oscillator just has a potentiometer. And what I did was I added a very simple output circuit. The output of each oscillator goes into the diodes. The diodes connect. I have a 33 nanofarad capacitor going from the diodes negative side, both of them, to ground. And then I have the output going into the one side of a pot. I have the I have the other side of the pot going to ground, and so that's a volume circuit. That's a volume pot, and we have the output jack being wired essentially the way we did before, except now the hot of the output jack, which is the blue wire that goes to the tip of the jack. Instead of that going straight to the output pin, it is now going to the center, the wiper of the volume pot. So just to recap, one side of the volume pot receives the input, actually the output of the 2 oscillators. That's the white wire that goes to one side of the potentiometer. The center of the potentiometer, which is called the wiper, that's going out, connecting to the tip of the output jack, 1/4-inch output jack. And the other side of the potentiometer is just connecting to ground. So that's a basic volume potentiometer set up as a volume. And so I got some really cool sounds with this setup. Let's see, I got two lamps on. And let's see, I'm going to turn off one of the lamps. turn off the second lamp. So with the way it's set up now, you get some really cool, interesting sounds. And that's only with 2 oscillators, a handful of components. And so now we have a output volume pot and a very simple filtering circuit, just using a capacitor. So if there was a resistor and a capacitor combination there, you could get a low pass filter or a high pass filter depending on how you arrange the capacitor and the resistor. So right now, I'm not sure if this would technically be called a filter circuit, a passive filter circuit, because it's just the capacitor going to ground. I'm not sure about that. I got to look that up. But next, we're going to hook up the ribbon controller again, and that's a lot of fun. And I'm going to upload my schematic in case anybody wants to build this, and it'll make more sense than my explanations, because I know it's hard to see the breadboard, it's hard to see the components, and it's probably also hard to understand what I'm saying because I have a thick Long Island accent, and yeah, and sometimes I forget to describe things that I did. But the schematic will describe everything, and everything will be written out on the schematic. Okay, thank you.